Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening on our third anniversary, or this one is called Impact, and we are so excited to share a little bit of where we have been and what we have planned. Before I begin the meeting proper, I'd like to just advise everyone that this meeting is available in simultaneous translation. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you should see a globe icon. If you click on that globe icon, you'll be able to participate in the language of your choice. I want to start by honoring the land that we are on, which has been the site of human activity since time immemorial. I'm joining you today from the town of Oakville, which is located on the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. These treaties and other covenants were agreements to peaceably share and care for the land and its resources. We are mindful of broken covenants and the breach of trust rooted in the acquisition of these lands, which has resulted in ongoing systematic injustices that impact First Nations peoples until today. We are all, in some respect, treaty people. Many of us have come here as immigrants in this generation or generations past. I'd like to also acknowledge those of African descent who came here forcibly, particularly as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. And I acknowledge the shared history of two peoples, of bondage on these lands, and the resulting generational trauma. Therefore, I also honor and pay tribute to the ancestors of African origin and descent. Good evening again. My name is Donna Walwyn, and I am the Vice Chair of the Black Opportunity Fund. And I am just with a sense of deep gratitude, and to be honest with you, wonder, that I sit here today and share with you and reflect on the last 3 years and our journey and how we got here. But I'm more excited to be able to have this platform share with you what we have planned for the future. You'll hear a lot this evening, this afternoon, depending on where you're joining from, about our recent successes. You'll hear about what we have planned for the future. You'll hear about how you can continue to support us. And we are excited to share all of that with you. I'd like to ask Cindy Ann to cue greetings from our chair, Ray Williams, who unfortunately was unable to join us this evening.
Good evening to all. I apologize for not being able to join you this evening. Nonetheless, I wanted to send my greetings and express my thanks for this amazing support we've received from Black communities across Canada. This past June, we celebrated 3 years since inception, and I'm pleased to report that our progress and impact continues to unfold. Much of this could not have been achieved without the support of our various donors. And I would actually be remiss if I didn't also mention the rather excellent board of directors that provides outstanding governance and direction for Black Opportunity Fund. Finally, let me acknowledge our small but highly effective team of employees led by our Executive Director, Craig Wellington, that daily execute the goals of our organization. I thank you for your ongoing support and trust. We continue as Black Opportunity Fund to operate at the speed of trust, and we continue to back Black. Thank you.
Over to you, Craig. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Welcome, everybody, and really excited today, as Donna mentioned, to really frame this and have a look back on where whence we've come and where we're going. So we will be reporting today essentially on the major achievements during our 2022-23 fiscal year, which ended March 31st. Last year and previous years, our focus was on establishing our governance structure, building a robust and future-forward accountability framework, and the work of pulling together and attaining our charitable status, which we have done for a year and a half. So we're very proud of what we've been able to do. And over the last fiscal year, we set up and launched a number of key programs, which you will be hearing about. And you will be hearing stories not just from us, but you're going to be hearing stories of impact from those who are recipients of funding, support, and capacity. And as well, you're going to hear from collaborators of ours. And you've heard from Donna and Ray, who are founders of the organization. I'm very pleased to have come on board with the excellent insights and guidance from them. The other day, a colleague of mine referred to our board of directors as the Avengers. It is, for me to be in a room like that, and the level of excellence around the board is just absolutely tremendous. I'd like to, again, let you hear from some of the recipients in our program. So I'm going to ask Cindy Ann to cue up a brief video showing some highlights of some of the organizations, Black-led businesses and not-for-profits and charities who've participated in our programs over the last year. Cindy Ann, please.
First of all, I would like to start by thanking the Black Opportunity Fund for the work your organization is doing in reaching out to the community. Your support is invaluable to organizations like ours who are trying to make a difference.
Royal Health and Community Services is a community and AIDS service organization which has and continues to provide a growing array of health promotion, education, social, and support services for persons living with, affected by, and at systemic risk of HIV in the region of Peel.
We at REST are a B3 organization, meaning we're Black-led, Black-focused, and Black-serving, and we have a mission to end youth homelessness in the region of Peel.
We are developing online modules that will focus on anti-Black racism and Black health, and that will be for health professional students.
Financial literacy and financial empowerment is something that is greatly needed in our Black community. For the several months, we've been offering workshops in high schools, we've been offering workshops in faith-based organizations.
My name is Shyla Hamilton. I'm the owner of Elite Perfection Body Studio here located in Halifax. I'm a recent graduate of the BOF Elevate program, and the program was amazing. I have so much to take away from the program, down to marketing, how to scale my business, know my business, use AI.
During the pandemic, REST launched the Black Youth Matter support line to help young people who were facing social isolation. And today we're so grateful that we received the funding from the Black Opportunity Fund that will help us to continue to support the Black Youth Matter support line by hiring a part-time social worker who will continue to provide remote counseling.
We made mentorship one of the core pillars of our Onyx Scholars program to ensure that our mentorship program provided experienced professionals and scholars with opportunities to engage in open and authentic communication in a relaxed and comfortable manner. We called it the Onyx Cafe Mentorship Program and chose 10,000 Coffees, one of the top platforms that helps people connect in meaningful ways. And we are truly grateful for the funding we received from the Education and Health Grant to bolster the second year of our mentorship program. In addition addition to helping offset the renewal fee for 10,000 coffees, we utilize the funds to pay for extra administrative and social media support.
We're so thankful for being one of the education and health grant recipients, and we thank the Black Opportunity Funds for investing in our organization. And this support will go toward one-on-one support for young people between ages of 18 to 30 who are moving through the system, help them gain employment, remove system barriers, equip them with system literacy and navigation skills.
The Black Opportunity Fund has supported us in delivering This Way Up program. This Way Up is designed for Black children and youth with a strong focus on science, technology, engineering, and math.
We plan to use this grant to support programming delivery, such as curriculum development, facilitation costs, participant assessment costs, and participant support costs.
We received from many of the participants testimonies to show their thanks and appreciation for an opportunity to have, in some cases, a first computer.
Alicia Cafe focuses on offering healthier food for breakfast and lunch.
My partners and I at Quick Stop want to thank the Black Opportunity Fund and DoorDash.
We're so grateful for this grant, and a portion of this grant will be used for marketing and branding.
This grant will help me to purchase a speed oven.
This will be huge for our business. It'll definitely help with some restaurant upgrades, hiring and training.
I'm so excited that Moyo is one of the recipients of the Black Opportunity Fund grant this year.
Our program was privileged to receive funding from the Black Opportunity Funds.
We want to thank the Black Opportunities Fund for helping us to give our Black youth opportunities to dream big.
The Black Opportunity Fund's Education and Health Grant has made a monumental impact here at Rest Centers. Thank you so much.
We want to thank the Black Opportunity Fund, supported by TD, for providing this grant so that we continue to raise the level of financial literacy for Black Canadians.
So the grant was used for installing a dishwasher. We just want to say a big thank you to DoorDash, BOF, Black Food Energy Grants, for giving us this opportunity. I plan on using my non-repayable funds to market my business and help scale it and get my name out there more. I'm super grateful for the program, and I'm excited to be a BOF graduate.
It's always more impactful to hear from the recipients than from us. Cindy Ann, I'm going to ask you. I'm throwing a curveball at Cindy Ann. Actually, jumping back now to the impact slide. That I'd like if you can pull it up on the screen, where we're just going to want to show you some of the key highlights of the last year and speak to some of them. So in terms of the impact, again, this is the work of a tremendous team led by our board, a tremendous and dedicated staff team. And one of the things that we have always focused on in terms of building capacity is, instead of reinventing the wheel, finding collaborative partners who are working in Black communities across Canada and working with them. And this is why we've been able to make the impact that we have. So we can see some of the highlights of what we were able to do over the last fiscal year. Again, getting our charitable status up and in place, which we've now had for a year and a half. Over 2.5 million that we've allocated in terms of our two broad mandate areas of support for Black entrepreneurs, as well as support for Black-led, Black-serving, Black-focused not-for-profits and charities. We had $1 million, which we have used to collateralize lending for Black entrepreneurs that have been declined lending by Canadian financial institutions. And that deposit, that collateral we've used has helped to de-risk the loans. Significant amount of Black businesses through our partnership, again, with Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce and the tremendous work they're doing with wraparound supports. So we've worked with them, supported their programs as well, which you'll hear more of coming up. Grants provided through education, health, criminal justice, and arts and culture, which you've heard some of our, and you'll be hearing about more about our donation to Sick Kids Hospital for 2 important initiatives around sickle cell and the non-repayable funding we provide as an incentive for Black entrepreneurs who are in capacity building programs. And I would be remiss if we did not thank our partners, our funders, who have been with us, some right from day one, who continue to invest in our mission and our mandate, who help us to make this happen, this reality happen. And also to the community members who provide ongoing support in terms of volunteering, becoming part of our adjudication teams, being on various working groups, as well as our ongoing monthly donors who continue to invest in our mission and mandate. And what I'd like to do now is I would like to turn over to introduce Alicia Rose from our partner TD, who their commitment to Black Opportunity Fund is the largest single investment made by a financial institution to any Black-led organization in the history of Canada. And I'd love to turn it over to Alicia, AVP Social Impact, Sustainability, and Corporate Citizenship, to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Craig. I hope you can all hear me okay. As Craig said, my name is Alicia Rose, Associate VP at TD of Social Impact. I can't kind of overstate that on a personal and professional level, I am honored to be here. The topic of underinvestment in Black communities has been one that has spanned my career of 20 years in community investment. It's been one that was talked about passionately at my dinner table growing up by my parents. It's one that my great auntie in Ghana was talking about far before I was born. And so these are systemic issues that Black Opportunity Fund really seeks to tackle, that has been pervasive and quite frankly is dating back to a history that currently cannot be taught across all schools in North America. And so when we think of a bank, and here representing TD, you know, we ask ourselves, how do we tackle these big issues? How do we tackle these embedded issues? And so, as Craig was mentioning back in 2021, after a lot of conversations, internal, external dialogue, TD announced a $10 million donation to the Black Opportunity Fund. And we all know the mission of BOF is to raise and mobilize the world's largest permanent pool of capital to serve and empower Black communities by allocating resources to community organizations and facilitating access to capital for Black businesses. You know, part of that $10 million donation, and as part of that commitment, the Black Opportunity Fund also launched the Black Entrepreneur Loan Program, which is an inclusive lending program for Black entrepreneurs. But we also didn't just want it to be about the dollars. We wanted it to be about our people. And so in addition to that, every year, 2 positions have been created for TD colleagues to be seconded to Black Opportunity Fund to work on selected initiatives that support the organization's mission and help dismantle the effects of anti-Black racism. Portions of these initiatives are supported through the TD Ready Commitment, which is our corporate citizenship strategy. And through the TD Ready Commitment, we are looking to support many organizations working to break down these barriers, drive progress, including amplifying Black voices. And we are proud to support Black Opportunity Fund, as well as a host of other organizations that are doing great work in this sector. And while we have made incredible collective progress, and we're going to hear about some of those impacts today to address anti-Black racism, there's still much more work to be done to break down systemic barriers and help create a more equitable tomorrow for everyone. One of the things that we're doing now at TD is we're looking to do that by furthering access to financial and economic inclusion, which have been long at the core of our sustainability priorities. And building on this foundation, the bank is taking another step forward through what we're calling TD Pathways to Economic Inclusion. So what that really does is it focuses our efforts in 3 areas where we believe we have knowledge and resources and capacity to make meaningful impact. So those 3 areas are employment access, financial access, and housing access. So TD Pathways to Economic Inclusion will focus the bank's efforts to further embed social factors into its business. It's basically, how do we do business better? And we're building on an area that has been long a priority for the bank, which is diversity and inclusion. I know that we're here to hear from many other people that are not me. So I want to wrap up by thanking sincerely Craig, Ray, the entire board and staff of the Black Opportunity Fund. It's challenging to be a leader. It's challenging to be on the front line at times. And you are seen, you are appreciated, and we are honored to stand with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alicia, and thank you so much, TD. I'd like to reintroduce our Donna Walwyn, our founder, vice chair, and chair of our grants committee, as well as Muzunza Musumbulwa, our stalwart programs manager, to talk about our recent grant initiative.
Thank you so much, Craig. Look, in Ray's welcome, he spoke about the small but mighty team that we have. The Grants Committee is a subcommittee of the Board of Directors. We provide oversight and governance for the grants program. But as you all know, the day-to-day work is where the rubber hits the road. And for that, we rely on Muzunza, our program manager. And so I'd like to turn over the bulk of this discussion to Muzunza and thank her, publicly acknowledge all of the work that she has done to bring this together and to make this program run as smoothly as it does. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Craig. And I must start by saying it's a team effort. There's a lot of wheels turning to make this work. And nextly, I would like to mention again that this grant was made possible through the partnership of Black Opportunity Fund and TD Ready Commitment, as well as Ontario Law Foundation. A huge thank you again to all our volunteers, adjudicator volunteers, as well as the grants committee who ensure due diligence in reviewing and making decisions on applications. At this point, I would like to introduce Centre Communautaire Bon Courage from Quebec, represented by the Executive Director, Kaditu Savadongo, as well as Hope Blooms, represented by Programs Manager, Veronica Gute, who each have been selected to receive a 100,000 Catalyst grant, courtesy of the Black Opportunity Fund and TD Ready Commitment. I'll start by asking Veronica Gutier to briefly tell us about your organization and the project that has been funded, as well describe what impact the grant, the 100,000 grant that will be provided over 2 years will help you achieve. Hi, Veronica. We can see you're here, but we can't hear you. Okay, while we wait for Veronica to probably sort out some IT issues, I'll move on to Centre Communautaire and ask Kaditu Savadongo. I'll start by saying again, congratulations, and tell us briefly about your organization and the project you funded, and describe what the 100,000 grant impact you have on your organization.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour tout le monde, j'espère que vous m'entendez bien. Allô?
Bonjour. Have you turned on the interpretation, Kadito? At the bottom of your screen, you see a white globe. You can turn that on and select to listen in English, and it will do the interpretation for you.
Yeah, we're hearing her in Kadito in English already. So so everybody just needs to activate from the globe at the bottom of the screen.
Merci, je l'ai déjà fait. Merci, je suis la directrice du Centre communautaire Bon Courage. C'est un organisme à but non lucratif qui est situé dans un des secteurs les plus pauvres de l'arrondissement de Saint-Laurent à Montréal. Et ce secteur accueille des familles récemment arrivées au Canada, des familles monoparentales, des familles à faible revenu, des familles avec beaucoup d'enfants et qui sont pour la plupart constituées de communautés noires issues de plusieurs pays d'Afrique et d'Haïti et d'ailleurs, des communautés noires. Donc, nous les accueillons, nous les accompagnons et en but de travailler avec eux pour permettre leur intégration dans leur société d'accueil, notamment les jeunes. Et donc, le Centre Bon Courage offre beaucoup de services pour accompagner ces communautés qui viennent récemment au Canada et qui ont besoin de repères, qui ont besoin de se forger un parcours migratoire réussi et pour aussi la réussite de leurs enfants. Donc, nous avons déjà eu les financements pour un premier projet de salle informatique. Merci infiniment. Merci de tout cœur parce que c'est comme un rêve pour les jeunes de ces familles issues des communautés noires qui est devenu une réalité parce qu'ils n'ont pas accès à des ordinateurs à la maison. Donc, ils reviennent au centre pour pouvoir avoir accès à un ordinateur, continuer à faire leurs recherches pour les études de l'école. Et cette année, nous avons encore eu la chance d'avoir le financement pour notre projet Festival Bon Courage. Le Festival Bon Courage a pour objectif de promouvoir la contribution des communautés noires ici et communautés noires d'ascendance africaine et d'ailleurs au Canada ici et aussi renforcer les capacités des jeunes en les mettant en contact avec des personnalités inspirantes qui vont leur décrire des parcours migratoires réussis pour qu'eux aussi puissent se forger un chemin réussi au Canada ici, s'intégrer et à travers beaucoup d'activités, diverses activités, donc des panels au cours desquels on approche des personnalités qui ont réussi, qui viennent partager leur parcours aux jeunes et à leurs familles. On fait aussi un documentaire où on part interroger des personnalités qui ont réussi aussi, des communautés noires, pour inspirer nos jeunes. Nous faisons cette projection aux jeunes pour les inspirer. Nous faisons aussi de la création d'œuvres d'art pour vraiment promouvoir les talents de ces jeunes. Parce qu'ils ont du talent. Nous avons confiance, nous croyons que ces jeunes ont du talent et qu'ils ont beaucoup de choses à redonner. Ils sont très intelligents et nous voulons promouvoir cela à travers la création d'œuvres d'art. Et nous avons aussi une fanfare que nous avons créée. Et ce sont les jeunes qui ont créé cette fanfare, qui chantent, qui font des chansons et qui vraiment expriment leur talent et qui sont épanouis à travers ce qu'ils font. Nous avons aussi des spectacles où nous invitons des artistes issus des communautés noires qui ont aussi des parcours, des expériences à partager. Il y a qui peuvent aussi inspirer les jeunes qui ont peut-être dans le rêve de devenir des artistes, musiciens ou des promoteurs culturels, etc. Donc, on essaie de faire comme tout un tout pour leur donner le plus de chances possible à tous les jeunes, inspirer ces familles et nous croyons que ce projet dans les 2 prochaines années va permettre de briser l'isolement d'esprit, le luxe d'aller voir un spectacle, qui ne peuvent pas aussi avoir la possibilité d'approcher certaines personnalités, et ça va briser leur isolement, ça va leur offrir des moments agréables qui va permettre aussi à ces familles de s'épanouir et d'avoir confiance en eux et de trouver leur chemin de parcours au Canada ici. Et c'est vraiment un infini merci, un gros merci que nous adressons au fond pour cet accompagnement. C'est du fond du cœur, je vous remercie. Merci infiniment parce que vous avez donné une bouffée d'oxygène à tout un quartier, à toute une communauté. Merci infiniment.
Darie, Kaditu. And now moving on, I see Veronica. We're able to see you. So that's Veronica Gutierrez from Hope Blooms in Halifax. Again, congratulations. And please tell us briefly about your organization and the project that you funded, and what the 100,000 Catalyst grant impact you have on your organization over the 2 years.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so Hope Blooms is in Halifax, and we have been working with African Nova Scotian kids. We are located in an area that had like all the people that were relocated from Africville and were brought to like public housing, like against their will. There is a lot of intergenerational trauma. There is like many generations of poverty that is racialized poverty, and we have been working with that with social enterprises. We have been doing it for 15 years. We started with a community garden, and we started agro-food businesses with all the herbs that we will harvest from the garden. And the businesses just grew and grew. We had like really awesome partnerships with Lobla, and the kids just like kept like multiplying. Like we tripled like the number of children and youth that have been in our programs in the last year. And we haven't found any funders that believe in the importance of leadership and like public speaking and like believing that you can do something and like start from zero and then like seeing it grow and see that like you can do it, and like it doesn't matter what your parents did or what like what's the history in your family. Like most of them are the first ones that graduate high school, and like the first ones definitely going to post-secondary. And they believe that they can do it because they, like since they are very, very young, they have been doing these amazing businesses that like everyone in Halifax knows. And a lot of them are like invited to speak about their social enterprises in school. And it's just like, it's really awesome to see like how much it has grown. And it's really awesome to see like everything that we can do with this funding, and like the possibilities are like so endless that we can have so many more social enterprises. Like we can have different group of kids like pitching their businesses, and we can actually act on it and like make them grow with this funding, which is amazing. And yeah, we're like super thankful that that we have this opportunity to grow even more and to give more youth the opportunity to make their ideas come true, and to see that like if they like brilliance has no postal code and no color in their skin, and it's just amazing to see them grow and to see like everything that's going to happen with these funds. Thank you so much.
Congratulations again to you both. BOF is pleased to be supporting you as you continue to have significant impact on Black communities across Canada.
Thank you so much. That was incredibly inspiring. And we're just glad to be a link in the chain to help support the tremendous work that is being done. And Muzunza, thank you again for your leadership. You and your team, leading the adjudication team from across Canada, Donna, the grants committee, all of our volunteers, and the rigor and accountability of our process, And I think, and Muzunza, you can clarify, in the next few weeks, we will be announcing the full list of all the grant winners in both streams, the arts and culture, as well as the criminal justice grants. And Muzunza, you're leading the final due diligence and so on, and we will be publicly announcing those in partnership with TD Ready Commitment Ontario Law Foundation. So look for that coming up. So at this point, I would like to jump into next segment of our agenda, which is talking about our Black Business Lending Program and doing an update. So at the end of last year, Black Opportunity Fund, with funding support from TD Bank, again, launched an inclusive lending program for Black entrepreneurs who have been declined lending by Canadian financial institutions. And we expanded that as well, and made the decision that we also expanded that to Black businesses who've also been declined lending, for example, by the FACE Coalition, so that we can provide a range of support, and it matches up and synergizes with other initiatives that we're doing, including wraparound and capacity building support, recognizing that yes, there's a need for access to capital, but in how the capital is made. Yes, there's a need for term loans, but there's also needs for lines of credit, for operating capital, for businesses who have orders, but simply don't have the capital to be able to fulfill them. So we take a very holistic approach to our lending program, and we also have a partnership with Afro-Caribbean Business Network led by Ryan Knight, who works at the front end of the initiative with initial applicants, helping them with the initial eligibility requirements and providing them with wraparound supports as well needed to help them to get into our program. And then once they are in our program, we also are looking to add supports along the way. What I want to share with you, we have the privilege and the pleasure of introducing Dr. Justine Pierre, who's a director with Don Pierre Barnett and Company, which is a leading research company focused on workforce development, labor market management, consulting, which just has tremendous insights. They were actually the very first organization that Black Opportunity Fund invested in through our Black Business Loan Program. And we've learned so much about your organization and the tremendous work that you do around the world. And we're certainly, again, glad to be a link in the chain. And I will just turn it over to you to talk about the tremendous work you're doing and the impact you're having. And again, how this helped you to grow and build capacity.
Good. Thank you very much. Okay. As I said, thank you for having me. I extend greetings to all the persons on the panel and all the listening audience. My name is Justin Pierre. I'm the director of research and business development at our firm, Don Pierre Barnett. We are a management consulting and technology firm. We specialize in collecting data. Okay, we analyze data of persons of BIPOC people, persons within this part of their world. We collect basically labor market data, labor force data, and any type of administration data we have. So far, we have worked. We are known more in Canada, as outside Canada than in Canada. So globally, we have done over 260 studies in 40 countries. We have been there operating for over 10 years. What makes us different is that we have something called a portal. We have what is called a Black Data and Information Portal, which is by far, I think by now, based on UN standard, is one of the largest portal of Black people in over 135 countries. We collect all types of data. And we were successful. In fact, we collect about 33 major indicators, Black indicators, and about 85 other minor indicators. All our data is coded by ISIC codes, NAICS codes. So any organization, they are UN, StatScan, a bank, anyone could interpret our information and use it. Today, our portal We have about 643,000 people who have registered on the portal. So there is a need for Black data. And right now, what we're doing is to trying to get funds, of course, to convert these 640,000 people from registered customers into paid customers. And it's like having a Black LinkedIn. So this is really where we are going. We want to thank the BOF for giving us the opportunity to get funding for what is called performance bond on the project. And we have been working with them. And I really want to say that it is important for us as a firm to have control over our data, because our data is king, data is the new goal. And what we as organization or people within the community, we don't have access to our data. And we also want to thank organizations like churches. Over 2,100 churches have a partner with us. So we collect data twice a year on almost anything. So for example, just to, we just completed a project for FACE, you mentioned FACE, which is called the Black Quebecers Pension Survey. And from the data that we're seeing for Black people, it is very, very not heading in the right direction. From our labor market needs assessment in Ontario, we found out that, just for example, houses are only 7.8% of Black people, Black husband, Black wife, have a mortgage. But when you remove a spouse, a Black spouse, that percentage moves from 7.8 to 33.2. It shows that just race has a great impact in in your ability to have a mortgage. And as I said, we collect lots of data. Our website is dpbglobal.com. If any banks or any organization require data, you can get in contact with us. And so far, we have been inundated with calls from all over the world on the importance of Black data. And we know that Black people, we are the youngest population in this country, and we have the lowest investment to population ratio, meaning that there's a lot of opportunities for banks and other organizations to invest in us. And I'll stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pierre. Again, it is just tremendous to be a link in the chain. And again, as much as possible, we want to hear those who are recipients of our programs to speak. And I want to introduce now Doug Minter from Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce to talk about the wraparound support programs that we have for Black entrepreneurs. Again, our focus is on getting capital to Black entrepreneurs, as well as Black-led not-for-profits and charities, but we recognize that there's more that's needed. Because of systemic racism, yes, there are differential barriers that Black Canadians have in terms of gaining access to capital to start a business, to scale a business, but also because of the impacts of historic systemic anti-Black racism, it means there's also a need for more education, financial literacy, capacity building, business planning, and so on. And when we decided to help to meet this need, we looked at the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce and the great work they were doing. Doug and I brainstormed and continue to do so to think about answers to problems. And we came up with a solution with an investment of funds from the CIBC Foundation, who invested in both of our organizations, to look at how we could provide non-repayable funding as an incentive to Black community organization and entrepreneurs for them to go into this capacity building programs, because we recognize that the time they need to go into these programs is time they're taking away from running their business. There's a cost to it, whether it be cost of childcare, or it's the cost of the job that they have to do to pay the bills while they're pre-revenue. And we're just about to or we are launching now a new program where we're also subsidizing the costs of mandatory licensing, mandatory certifications, and permits for Black entrepreneurs who are within our programs as well, to provide that additional support. Doug, let me turn it over to you to say a few words.
Yeah, so Craig, thank you so much on behalf of our executive director, Dr. Aman, and our board. Thank you, Black Opportunity Fund, for your partnership. I can't say that enough. Craig, I feel like you're part of the family. We talk to you and your staff every week, so it's been a great partnership. I'll say a couple of few stats. We've done just shy of $1 billion in loans, lines of credit, and non-repayable funds from Black Opportunity Fund and CIBC and some of our partners, and BMO, another one of the partners in our collaborative, directly to Black entrepreneurs. So when you give out $1 billion directly to Black-owned companies, that's a success story, and that's a win, and we're really proud of that. And that could not have happened without the support of BOF. We've had over 1,000 applicants in the wraparound services program, and we provide programming from ideation to mature. And so we're really proud of this. But what's historic, over 100 firms who were denied loans were provided stipends, non-repayable loans, every quarter that they're in our programming. And that's vital to us because it makes our programming sticky, and gives people an incentive to put in the work, to work on their business instead of just working in it. So the really powerful sticky factor. We have 173 firms in our current cohort. Many of those will be recipients of the Black Opportunity funding, and really proud of that. But this new program, which is really interesting, Craig came to me about a month ago and said, Doug, we need to provide some additional funding. He goes, we need to incentivize and help businesses with licenses, permits, these little sticky bills that pop up as you're developing your company that you just can't afford to pay for. You've already paid for business registration, you've already paid taxes, you've already paid employees, and then you really need that certification to amplify. And it was such an interesting idea. I actually got him on the phone. I called him early in the morning, it's about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I put him on a three-way with a trucking company who was one of our first companies to get financed by CIBC. And she said, thank you for the financing. Thank you for the help and the support. But I want to get my broker's license. And we said, why is that important? She said, my profits will double. I'm going to have at least a 40, 60% increase in revenues, but I need to get that broker's license. And this is the type of person that we want to help. We've had, I told Craig this earlier, we just launched the applications about a week and a half ago. I think we're barely at 2 weeks. Friday will be 2 weeks, Craig. 71 applicants, potential funding of about $100,000 that's going to go directly into the hands of Black entrepreneurs to support them with these additional features, these additional certifications and registrations that people just like, can I do this registration or do I pay payroll? And so I think this is one of the coolest programs I've ever heard of in my time being an entrepreneur coach. And what's great about it is we're doing two things that no one else is even talking about. We're giving funding to people to help them after they've been told no. So there is no, there's a yes. No matter who told you no, we're telling you yes. And I think this additional lending program just makes that even better. So thank you so much, Black Opportunity Funding, and the fine work that you guys are doing. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you so much, Doug. Thank you, Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce, and again to our partners, CIBC, to BMO, TD. We're about to also launch some additional capacity in our lending program and continuing work with Banque Nationale and so on, which we'll shortly be doing. So again, keep an eye on that. And at this point, I would like to introduce Nicole Salmon, representing the Black Canadian Fundraisers Collective, to give a teaser on a wraparound supports program that we're doing for B3s, which is funded by the RBC Foundation. And this is a really important partnership, which we've been, I think, brainstorming since the time I came on board.
Yes.
So Nicole, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Good night, Craig, and good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be able to participate tonight. So certainly on behalf of the Black Canadian Fundraisers Collective, I express our appreciation to the Black Opportunity Fund for the opportunity to participate in tonight's town hall. Unfortunately, due to a previous engagement, I do have to drop off the call after briefly sharing what is for us a really exciting multiple organization partnership and community-focused initiative designed to support Black-led, Black-serving, and Black-focused organizations. I'm one of the founding members of the Black Canadian Fundraisers Collective. We call ourselves BCFC. Of course, acronyms are all the thing, right? We call ourselves BCFC, a group founded in 2018 by my sister friend and colleague, Anika Allen, who is actually currently on her annual June summer sabbatical. So unfortunately, she couldn't join us tonight, but she is as excited about this particular program that I will share some information with you tonight. So before getting to the program and more information about the initiative currently underway, allow me to share a bit of information about the Black Canadian Fundraisers Collective. We are a group of Black identifying people rooted in the historic African tradition of Ubuntu. I am because you are. As the leading advocate and thought collective for Black Canadian philanthropy, BCFC exists to inspire and elevate the fundraising sector. We have a membership model, and we have established scholarships to support the education of Black fundraisers. That is really critical for us. Almost from its inception, and certainly with specific focus over the last 2 years, members of our collective have engaged in discussions with Craig, with the board of BOF, and we have actually worked directly with the organization in sort of a fundraising advisory capacity. You know, I'm listening to everyone talk about the need for funding, and certainly BOF operating in that space is really critical, of course, not only for for-profit, small business, but it's also critical for the nonprofit sector and certainly for charities. So tonight I'm here to share information about what we'll call the BCFC Capacity Development Program for B3 organization, and it's a partnership between BOF and our organization. It's a 2-year initiative that is funded by the Royal Bank of Canada and is designed to provide B3 organizations with flexible funding. So the word flexible funding is really critical, and capacity development support that positions them to collaborate, lead, and deliver community-determined solutions that effectively address identified community priorities and needs. So again, we're looking at the communities, the solutions are within the communities, and the challenges we know the Black organizations face and nonprofit and charities face is that you know, having access to funding is certainly a struggle, and having to keep doors open and serve the community is a bit of a struggle. So we know they're underfunded, and we know because of that, they have capacity and program delivery challenges. Selected organizations for this initiative will receive access to unrestricted funding. It's the sort of thing we talk about. You know, we need these organizations need support for very specific things, but they don't have the funding that they have. A lot of it, especially if you're getting funding through grants, it's restricted funding, and it doesn't allow the organization to allocates significant amounts of money to the types of support the organization needs in order for it to deliver the program. So this is really critical to have this opportunity to support B3s with unrestricted funding. To begin, we want to sort of say that the selected organizations will receive access to this funding, as well as access to training in areas such as fundraising, strategic planning, as well as governance, financial and HR related topics. So that whole idea about wraparound support, it's not just one specific area, but we're trying to look at the ecosystem. I'm actually in Windsor tonight, and I did a presentation at the Afro-Caribbean conference here, and we were talking about the issue around sustainability. And we were talking about these various things that this program will help address. So we would be, BCFC, the Black Canadian Fundraisers Collective, will be the project lead, with BOF collaborating and providing oversight and direct support. The program will be delivered in partnership with Imagine Canada and Management Advisory Services. We are in the process of having conversations with other potential community-based philanthropic funders across the country to explore the opportunity to expand the reach and impact of the program. So again, we're looking at this right across Canada. We will possibly start out fairly small, but the whole idea is that if we can get additional support from other philanthropic organizations, we'll be able to actually expand the program. So it's really an exciting initiative. So planning is well on the way, and we look forward to providing more information about its launch in the near future. Again, we are very excited about this initiative and look forward to working with all our delivery partners to support the tremendous work that B3 organizations are doing. And we are excited again we've been working with BOF for quite a number of years, and this partnership, I think, is really critical in terms of moving the needle for organizations in the nonprofit and the charitable space. So again, thank you very much, Craig and the team and the board of BOF. We are excited to get this program on the way, and our partners are quite excited to be part of this program. And we do thank RBC for providing this funding. As I said, unrestricted funding is a challenge for organizations in the nonprofit and charitable space. So having the access to this funding is really critical to their success.
Thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you to you, Anika, and the entire BCFC team for what is going to be a tremendously impactful program. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Craig. Good night, everyone. Take care.
And then without further ado, rolling right into the next agenda item, Efosa Ebona from Black Founders Network at partnership with U of T Entrepreneurship. And we also have the pleasure of also introducing Olu Banjo, who is the founder of Ready, who was a participant in the Black Founders Network Accelerate 2022 cohort. And I had the privilege of participating as a judge on the selection panel last year. And this year for the 2023 cohort, in addition to participating as a panelist, Black Opportunity Fund is sponsoring and supporting this year's cohort. We're really pleased to have Olu on board to share his story, in particular about Ready and the tremendous strides he's doing. The Ready was selected by Time magazine as one of its 2021 100 most innovative inventions of 2021. So Efosa, I will turn it over to you and let you take it from here.
Thank you. And good evening, everybody. So I'm calling in live from the Collision Conference, which we're able to participate in as a result of the generous contribution of the Black Opportunity Fund. And with the help of BOF sponsorship, we were able to actually increase the representation of Black entrepreneurs at this year's Collision Conference. So it's the most that we've had Black entrepreneurs, hundreds of them at Collision. So you guys are going to be seeing a lot of the updates after. So big thank you, Craig, for making that possible. And a quick overview of the Black Founders Network. So like Craig said, we are a community for Black entrepreneurs at different stages of their journeys. And we provide access to a mix of community, capital, and capacity building to help them to launch and scale their startups. We're over 5,000 since we launched. Started the journey in 2001 in October. I actually connected with Craig before we started building BFN, while he was building BOF in another life when I was in the technology space. And when the idea for BFN came up, I remembered their mandates and how it fit right into what we were trying to do for Black entrepreneurs. So I had reached out to Craig. This is even a year before we launched BFN. And one of the very first people that we spoke to consult about the barriers that are facing Black founders, and also from the perspective of an organization looking to support organizations like ours. So right from the photo shoot we did to launch BFN, till today, with all the growth we've experienced, Craig has been there from day one. So really big advocate for us, and we're very grateful. We're also pleased that Black Opportunity Fund has a representation on our leadership council. So Craig is also representing the organization. Our programming has different streams tied to the stages of the entrepreneurs. So BFN Core is our starting points. We provide access to what we call Smart Start grants, $4,000 in amount to young Black individuals who have ideas, who are trying to get to even consider entrepreneurship as a path. So with these funds, they build their minimum viable product. They're able to also find co-founders. So we help them match with co-founders, and they put out the products in the market. The next phase, which is BFN Accelerates, which is the one specifically sponsored by BOF for this year, is focused on companies who have minimum viable products already. They already have a team, and in fact, they have some traction in the market. So the program is a 3-month accelerator program where we help them to accelerate the growth of their users and revenues and market share. So Olu is one of our most successful alumni who Craig was part of helping select for the last cohort, and now he's just blazing the trails, and he's always in a different country. I don't know where he is right now because he's always invited to speak at all these things. So I'll let him share a bit about his story and the impact that he's having with Ready, which is, again, an indirect impact of the support of BOF. And we have another stage called BFN Scale, which is our last stage, where the companies are already generating revenues consistently. So that's where Olu is getting to now. And this programming we have for this stage is focused on more strategic support, like expanding into other markets, more fundraising, hiring management level executives. So you go from a bunch of founders sleeping on the couches of each other to people in suits, having an office space. So we're building that out as well. And we have a few companies in that stage, but we're very grateful for the BOF support. And I'm gonna pass it over to Olu to give you a visual example of what this translates to in the marketplace.
For that, thanks so much for that. And Craig, again, thanks for the opportunity to present our work at Ready. Again, just like Craig has mentioned, and just like what has been going on across the Black community, I think we ourselves at Ready, we've been a big beneficiary of a lot of support across the various lengths of the Black community, different programs from me meeting Craig the first time when we're judging the BFN panel, to EFOSA also helping us from the beginning of Ready to where it is now. Like I said, my name is Olu. You can call me Olu. My name is Olu Bengaba. You can call me Olu for short. And I basically run Ready. Ready is I think I'm probably gonna use a slide so that I give some little bit of visuals. So Ready is a clean energy company. We provide electricity to energy poor communities in Nigeria. So I'm going to just show you a little bit of what we do. I don't know if you could see my screen. So we are basically a clean energy company, and what we do is we provide electricity to energy poor communities in Nigeria and the broader Africa. So like you can see in the screen, we make those energy capsules. They are proprietary. We patent on it, and we've got. We started. It's a company that started when I was in U of T with the support from a lot of the Black community generally. Everybody I hired then to even help build this up, or people within the Black community, EFOSA and every other people that came together to support the vision. And the problem that we are addressing specifically is the huge electricity challenge in Africa. Basically, you will agree with me that currently right now we have around 600 million Africans living without access to power. Over roughly 1 billion Africans are actually struggling with one form of energy poverty or the other. So meaning that some people have no access to electricity, some people have access to power. And what we are doing with Ready was to actually build these energy capsules that people use to access power. The thinking came from the fact that I personally, I spent the first 24 years of my life in Nigeria before coming down to U of T. And when I got my degree in U of T, the first thing that came to my mind was that although I'm coming here to the first time living in Nigeria to U of T, but also I have access to power, like there's power everywhere. But the question is that I still have family, friends, colleagues in Nigeria who still struggle with power. So I felt I need to, take those skills and network and see how we can build something. Again, thanks to the community for helping us get to this stage. And we built the Ready capsule, worked on it across board, got a lot of support locally from both a lot of people that came to talk from us through different events, including a lot of BFN events, to like shaping what has become Ready today. We've deployed the capsules in the market right now. We have people using the market. We have people using the capsule. We have over 2,000 people using the Ready capsules daily, meaning that 2,000 people daily are accessing electricity through these capsules across board. And they've been, eternally grateful for the kind of like solutions that we are providing to the market. And the uniqueness of this solution is not beyond the fact that they are able to access electricity. It's also the fact that these people save over 30% of the energy expenses when they adopt the Ready capsule. And more importantly, they are also able to, we also create over the lifetime of the system of our business, which is just roughly less than 3 years old. We've created around 30 plus businesses locally, and these businesses continue to generate revenues based on the renting Ready capsules to local households. We've also over the years, like I said, built a couple of like proprietary like platforms that we've used to like manage these capsule rentals in these local communities. And some of those they are actually scaling up to become like their own independent products, again, due to a lot of support that we got, a lot of business model support, technology support that we got as a BFN, as a member of the BFN. This is our revenue model is very simple. We basically charge money based on rentals. We also make some sales as well. People are able to like rent our system, and people are also able to buy it. Majority of systems are rented. This is an example of someone in Lagos that used the Ready capsule to power his barbing salon in Lagos, and we have hundreds of these kind of people across Lagos and Ogun State communities in Nigeria that power their system with the Ready capsule. And we also have like this lady Mayowa, who have access to 24/7 electricity because she adopted the capsule. Again, as a company, we're also generating. We are not a non-profit, so we are generating revenue. Last year we did over $170,000 in revenue. We are on track to doing over $500,000 this year, and we've made a lot of partnership across board, partnering with both insurance companies, banks, investment companies, BFN, STD, Sustainable Development Canada, and a couple of other companies that are helping us like grow this into a huge juggernaut. Like I said, all these successes would not be possible if not because of all the support that we got. We started as a very tiny, as a bunch of kids that are just going somewhere, and we got tremendous support from the community, and the community continue to lend that kind of support always, and we are eternally grateful for those supports. That's a little bit about us in Ready. This a little bit about our achievements. Like I said, like Craig said, we've been around for a while, and we've got awards. We just got a recent award actually, like just last week in Kenya. And we've got a couple of like trying to scale even outside Nigeria right now. We are looking at the Kenyan market, we are looking at South African market. I had a meeting earlier today with Global Affairs Canada, where we are trying to even explore we are even looking at Canada, some regions of Canada where electricity is a challenge. We are looking at the possibility of providing our solutions to those regions. Again, all these are based on all the support we got from the community. And like I said, I personally internally grateful for this support and the kind of community we have. I personally have access to. As a company, we are constantly evolving. So like I said, Ready capsule is just one of the products that we built. As we continue to evolve, we also like introduce more products. One of them was powering the U of T booth at Coalition, and we're also like exploring sustainable transition right now, and we see all these solutions continue to evolve, which makes that tiny company become like more juggernaut again, leveraging on all the support that we got from the community. We have, I mean, obviously you can read more about what we are doing on our website. We've got a couple of like stuff on by documentaries by both CNN, BBC, Bloomberg. So it's we have a little bit of like detailed what's called write-up on the detailed media write-up about what we've been up to, and we are looking forward to even doing more bigger stuff with all the support that we've got and all the insights and all the knowledge or the lessons that we've got based on the support of BOF, BFN, and other incredible Black communities who are Black organizations and communities who have continued to like lend the hand of support to us as we continue to evolve in this journey. So again, thank you so much, everyone. And I'm going to hand over to Craig. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olu, and thank you, Ifosa. And again, this is the type of, we really wanted to share this because one of the things we hear as and you'll be hearing about just an update on our Black Opportunity Fund Venture Fund. And what we always hear is there's no deal flow. There's no Black deal flow for it. And these are the kind of businesses that are out there, that are being helped, that are in the ecosystem that we would love to support. On that note, I would like to now, Leslie Norville, I'd like to bring you to the stage to talk a bit about the Black Life Education Community Engagement Initiative, the Black Life CBC GEM series, and talk about it. This is a very, very important initiative, and really, really pleased to be providing support. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Greg. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. As Craig just mentioned, my name is Leslie Norville, and I am the showrunner and executive producer of Black Life Untold Stories. It's an 8-part documentary series that will explore unknown and rarely told stories of Black Canadian history. The show will dispel the myth of Canada's reputation as a racial utopia for Black people and will reveal a riveting over 400-year history of struggle and resistance and resilience. The series will air on CBC this fall, so we're really excited about that. And alongside the series, we plan to amplify and expand on the reach of the show through a robust impact campaign that we're very grateful that the Black Opportunity Fund is supporting. The campaign will leverage the episodes as tools to open mind, engage community, and hopefully change behaviors. Through cross-Canada free community screenings, education screening guides, and a dynamic website, the project will help ensure that the rich history of Black people in Canada is taught, celebrated, and used to energize community engagement. The Impact campaign is being produced by Sandy Husson, who sadly couldn't join us today, but I did want to thank, but both Sandy and I wanted to thank the Black Opportunity Fund for supporting our project.
Thank you so much. And anyone who wishes to donate to the project, to the Impact campaign, Black Opportunity Fund is collecting donations, and 100% of those donations go to the Black Life Foundation for this incredibly important community education event. Thank you so much, Leslie, for all your work. And we are so glad to be here to support.
Thank you, Craig.
So I will now introduce Black Opportunity Fund Health Working Group Co-Chair, Dr. Rato Setchiotu, and to talk about our partnership with Sick Kids, to introduce Dr. Isaac Odame from Sick Kids Foundation to talk about our important partnership on sickle cell disease. Nacho?
Thank you, Craig. And I gotta say, I've been smiling for the last hour, just all the accomplishments and all the linkage and all the work we're doing together in collaboration with the groups across Canada. So it's just amazing. I'm just blown away here. But I'm here to introduce Dr. Isaac Odame, who's a world leader in hematology. Dr. Odame at U of T has many positions, but he's a professor and director of both the divisions of adult and pediatric hematology and oncology in the departments of medicine and pediatrics. Dr. Dami also holds the Alexandra Yeo Chair in Hematology in the Department of Medicine, University of Toronto. And he's also the medical director of the Global Sickle Cell Disease Network at the Center of Global Child Health. So at the center, he's helping to build enduring collaborations between clinicians and scientists worldwide to further research and advance patient care, particularly in low-income countries with the heaviest disease burden. So we're honored to have Dr. Dami and the Hospital for Sick Children partner with BOF to improve the health outcomes in Black communities across Canada. I'll leave it to you, Dr. Dami.
Thank you very much, Ato, for your generous introduction. This has been very exciting listening to the stories. It's all about creating opportunities. The talent is there. It's just the opportunities, and we're creating the opportunities, and talent is blossoming. Our community is advancing. That's great. Congratulations. And I want to thank Black Opportunity Fund for the partnership with SECES. In fact, at the time when BOF was being established, an initiative was taking place in SECES, which is the Black Experience at SECES. Although SECES is a world-leading pediatric hospital, and we are very proud of that, we had come to know that there are inequities and there are disparities, particularly when it comes to children who come from Black families. And there's one disease that really epitomizes this, and that's the inherited blood disorder called sickle cell disease. Although it's not limited to Blacks, it is predominantly found among people of African descent. And so this initiative really is so important to us. Are we able to show the slides? Because I want to demonstrate why what we have done is so important. Yes, so we're talking about a medication called hydroxyurea, which is the most effective way of treating sickle cell disease. Now, you can see the picture. It comes in 500 milligrams capsules. And the data I'm showing you here, these are clinical trials showing HU, which is a drug, and PL, which is placebo. So the MSH is for adults, and the baby hug is for infants and toddlers. And what you're seeing is the incidence of pain, the numbers that get pain when they are on HU compared to when they are on placebo, or acute chest crisis, which is deadly. You can see that when you are on HU, it's much less, and hospitalization is less, and need for blood transfusion is less. Clearly, this is a drug that makes a lot of difference, but it comes only in 500 milligrams capsules. Next slide, please. Now, the dosing is so important. So patient 1, from left to right, is increasing dose of the medication. As you can see at the beginning, you can see this banana-shaped red cells or sickle cells. Very few red cells in the patient. And as they go on the medication, you can see that the sickle cells are less and the blood is looking much pinker. That is, there's more hemoglobin. And as you get to a maximum dose, you can see that you virtually cannot recognize that this is from the same patient, virtually no sickle cells at all. So this has direct impact on the red cell. Patient 2 is the same, and you can see that if you compare the extreme right with the extreme left, you can see there's a huge difference. So it's important that you dose it right and you give appropriate dosing to get optimal effect. But if it comes in 500 milligram capsules, an infant 9-month-old or a toddler 18-month-old cannot swallow a capsule. And you want to calculate the dosing exactly according to the weight of the toddler or the infant. Next slide, please. So smaller doses are needed for children because it's based on weight. They cannot swallow capsules. So what families had to do was to manually break the capsules, try to dissolve it in solution, and taking the appropriate dose for the child. This is tedious, this is cumbersome, it's challenging. And not only that, the drug is released as aerosols which you don't want people who are not patients to be exposed to. So this led to a problem that needed a solution, and it called for teamwork and design. Pharmacists, nurses, innovators, industry partners came together to design what you see in that picture. So this allows the capsule to be crushed and for an appropriate dosing to be prepared in solution, all in a closed system without release of any aerosols at all. It is simple. You drop the capsule in, it crushes it. As you squeeze it, it goes into the bottom, the solution, and you can draw up the exact amount the child needs. So with this was a partnership with a Black Opportunity Fund that funded the development of this mold into a 3D printing manufacturing system. And with this funding, it means that over 700 children across Canada in all the 13 children's hospitals where children with sickle cell disease are treated are going to have access to this capsule crusher shredder to be able to administer this essential life-saving medication to people with sickle cell disease. Next slide, please. And this became possible through multiple partnerships between SICKES, Black Opportunity Fund being the glue, and Walmart Canada partnership. So for this, all the children across Canada with sickle cell disease can take this medication, which will improve their quality of life. And the families are extremely thankful that they will have access to it. In addition, we know that although we have a lot of facilities at SICKES to treat children with this disease, sometimes accessing those facilities, having access to those technologies is challenging. Transportation issues, accommodation issues, and sometimes medicines that are prescribed that are not delivered in the hospital can be challenging. Again, Black Opportunity Fund has come in to support an endowment that is creating an amenities fund to support families to be able to access all the resources that we have at SICKES to give them first-class, high-quality care and to provide care that removes the health disparities and inequities that affect Black children with sickle cell disease. So we are so thankful to Black Opportunity Fund for this partnership, and all the families of children with sickle cell disease across Canada owe you a debt of thanks for this partnership and for the funding that you have granted us. Thank you very much, and I'll hand over to Craig.
Thank you so much, Dr. Odame, and thank you so much for the continued work you're doing through Sick Kids and around the world in terms of tackling this this terrible disease. And we are, again, just very happy to support. At this time, I'll ask Cindy Ann to share. We have a greeting from one of our partner organizations, Foundation Michael Jean Foundation, and a greeting from the Right Honorable Madame Michael Jean, the former Governor General of Canada, to talk about some of the partnership initiatives that we are doing. Cindy Ann?
In only a few years, the Black Opportunity Fund's demonstration of leadership and its resolute actions are helping more Black Canadians to prosper. On this, the third anniversary of the Black Opportunity Fund, and on behalf of the Michael Jean Foundation, we would like to congratulate the fund and every person whose tireless work over the years has inspired, empowered, and bolstered Black Canadians. It is clear that the Michael Jean Foundation and the Black Opportunity Fund are working in lockstep to seek justice, recognition, and development, the three pillars of the International Decade for People of African Descent, and this is only the beginning. We've made history with the Halifax Declaration for the Eradication of Racial Discrimination, a manifesto of change that I was so proud to present in New York 3 weeks ago at the UN Permanent Forum on People of African Descent, giving global resonance to our voices. For not only is the Halifax Declaration authentic, but it speaks of the substantial work accomplished. It speaks of the exemplary Black movement and leadership in Canada. Through extensive surveying, we at the Foundation, with Black Opportunity Fund's financial support, validated the calls of the Declaration with thousands of Canadians. We have had exceptional feedback on the importance of this document, the first collective grassroots record of the state of being a Black Canadian today, and the solutions needed across policy, legislation, research, and investment to achieve real change that not only benefits Black communities, but every Canadian. Our claims and actions are for the common good, the greater good. What lies ahead fills me with hope. Truly, the National Black Canadian Summit, that unprecedented platform and national movement we have made possible, has led to even more than the publication of the Declaration. We have also recently launched a new legacy program, Power of Youth, with support from Black Opportunity Fund, Canadian Race Relations, and others. Power of Youth, Jeunesse au Pouvoir, is a grant program that will support Black youth-led projects across Canada, shining the light on young change makers, making an impact in their local communities. Furthermore, I beam with excitement for the next National Black Canadians Summit. This forum for mutual dialogue, hope, education, and joy will again be a special place for Black Canadians next year, this time in Montreal, September 2024. Black Opportunity Fund was one of the first organizations to step up to contribute to the important work of organizing this major mobilization event. So we look forward to welcoming you there in great number. Already in Halifax, over 1,200 participants came from across Canada last year, among them 450 young leaders, and hundreds more were online. It is often said, it takes a village to raise a child. And in a manner, our collective work has created a village of change makers to not just raise a child, but raise Canada towards justice, an equitable, diverse future free from the grip of systemic racism and its devastating impact on us all. With gratitude, we recognize that our partnership with Black Opportunity Fund is immeasurable. Our devoted work will continue to inspire, and it began here with this alliance.
Amazing words of Right Honorable Madame Michael John. I'm very proud of the partnership and the tremendous work we have been able to do together. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis Mitchell, our founder, chair of our investment committee, to speak to our BOF Venture Capital Fund. I just want to let everybody know we will, and just being cognizant of time, we will extend for a little bit with your indulgence so that we will make time for Q&A. Dennis, take it away.
Well, thank you, Craig, and good evening to everybody on the line. And I echo Atto's comments. This has been fantastic to listen to all the accomplishments of BOF over the last 3 years, all the partnerships, all of the impact. And so this has been fantastic. And hats off to you, Craig, and to the small but mighty team at BOF that has accomplished so much. And I'm truly, truly excited about what is to come for BOF because we're just getting started. And with that in mind, the BOF venture capital strategy is a strategy that was first discussed when we were forming BOF 3.5 years ago. And through the generous support of National Bank Financial, we have the initial $5 million of our first fund already secured. And over the last 3 years, we've spent a lot of time speaking with the principals behind growth funds, venture capital funds, hedge funds. We've done a tremendous amount of consulting in the impact space, and all of that with the intention of ensuring that we rolled out a venture capital strategy that empowered Black entrepreneurs in Canada and provided them with the capital and the support that they need. And so one of the challenges that we have is that BOF is a registered charity. And this initiative we've done quite a bit of research, and we have 2 law firms on the case. Miller Thompson has been retained to provide guidance and support on how to structure this venture fund underneath BOF without violating our charitable status. And then we have Tories on the case because they have plenty of experience in the fundraising and fund organization world, plenty of contacts that will help us source people to populate this venture, relationships to fund this venture, and relationships to find impactful entrepreneurs to back. And so those 2 law firms are collaborating right now on behalf of BOF to ensure that the structure and the strategy are aligned with the goal of making sure that BOF is able to have the maximum impact, the maximum influence, and have the maximum reach across Canadian entrepreneurs. And then coming back to that initial $5 million from National Bank, Craig and team and many of the members of the investment committee have worked diligently to ensure that this first fund that we raise with a target of 50 million isn't just a nice idea, that we actually realize it. So I won't put the cart before the horse, but we're very, very excited about the prospects we have for partnership and the ability to raise capital in this first fund. The target is 50 million, but I'll tell you now, just as you've heard for this entire evening, we're just getting started with that first fund. It's our intention to raise a series of funds progressively larger so that we can have a national impact for Black entrepreneurs. And from a strategic standpoint, we're going to have the maximum impact we have by not just investing ourselves, but also by amplifying the work of existing Black-focused, Black-serving, and Black-led venture capital strategies out there. So stay tuned. This is something that we're diligently rolling out, and we've been very patient and thorough and diligent in designing this and structuring it and partnering. And so this is the next exciting initiative, but really it's just the next. I noticed from the agenda, Craig has strategically left out a few other things he's got up his sleeve. So stay tuned, because along with BOF Venture, there are many more exciting things coming down the pipeline. So thank you, Craig. I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dennis. Donna, I will let you take away this facilitating the Q&A. That brings us to end of our formal. Oh, sorry, that brings us to the end of our formal agenda, and I will let Donna facilitate Q&A, and we will jump in and answer, as always, any questions you have.
Thank you, Craig. I echo everyone else's comments about how awesome it has been to spend the last couple hours remembering what we've done and looking forward to what we will be doing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time or any time at all on closing remarks. I've tried to answer questions in the Q&A as they have come up. If there are any other questions, as Craig says, we'll jump in. And thank you for your indulgence as we ran a little bit late, but there's just so much excitement, so many exciting initiatives and things to talk about. That's what happens. So thank you for your indulgence as we ran a little late. Happy to take questions from you. I think that we pretty much got everything that was in the Q&A. I hope. So is the only way to ask questions through the Q&A? I just want to make sure that that is right. So if you've got a question, please put it in the Q&A.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we will answer them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
It's been a full agenda, and always like when the recipients are the ones who do the talking and talk about the impact that they've had. And I think I have to say that's something that since I came on board BOF with the great leadership of Donna, of Dennis, of Colin, of the Earls, the entire steering committee, they put their ego out of the way. So I mean, incredibly accomplished individuals who put their egos out of the way. And I think that is the philosophy of Black Opportunity Fund, to move essentially for Black Opportunity Fund to facilitate the connection directly with these great recipients and have them tell the story. So us to be a facilitator and not taking all the light, but to help shining it to others.
So thank you. we've got two more questions. One is for how to get the Ready capsule in Nigeria. And I don't know the answer to that. I apologize. I don't know the answer to that, but we can find out. We can find out. Is he still on the, is he still on the call?
I'm still on the call.
There you go.
Abby, can you?
Olu, please jump in, Olu.
Yeah, so you can either buy through directly on our website, www.ready.com, or let me just call the number or just call me. I can always find get our staff in Nigeria to get that across. So we have an office in Lagos as well. So either you reach out to us on our website or just buy directly on our website as well. If you have a Nigerian card or something, you can actually pay directly to our website.
Okay. Olu, can you post your website and email address in the chat?
Yeah, I'll try to do that right now.
Absolutely. And Dennis just had to jump off, so thank you to Dennis for that and his leadership on the Venture Capital Fund.
Somebody asked, what about the questions we submitted with registration? And I apologize. Could you please repeat the question in the chat? That would be super helpful. I appreciate it. Does BOF fund B3 startups? And I'm sorry that we have lost Dennis. He would have been the best person to answer that.
Sorry, did you say B3s? Because you're talking about not-for-profits and charities. Then.
Well, I think does BOF fund B3 startups? And I assume that meant Black-owned, Black-focused, Black-serving startups. Which I assume is not, I'm going to assume, and if you ask this question anonymously, I'm going to assume that it's not a not-for-profit or a charity, and that we're talking about a business.
So the answer is yes. I mean, we provide a range of funding all the way from grants, which we provide, like similar to the DoorDash grant program we did. We've done a granting program for innovation where we fund businesses that are newly established businesses. We have lending programs as well. And the next stage, of course, will be equity, which will have to demonstrate at least an MVP. So yes, I mean, we do provide funding at different stages of growth for companies. We provide capacity building right now and non-repayable funding for pre-seed early stage companies who are enrolled in capacity building. So the answer is it depends, and we take a holistic view and assessment of every organization who reaches out to us. So definitely reach out to us, send us information, and we'll try to match you to the proper program to support your needs.
Thank you so much for that. Now we've got a big question, and this may be can we provide a short answer to, can you discuss your challenges with the application that you made to the government regarding the 200 million endowment fund? Can I toss that to you, Craig, and can I leave that for just a moment? I want to respond first to a comment about from one of our adjudicators. And again, we are so grateful to our adjudicators for the time that you volunteer. And we are always looking for people to assist us, to support us. We would look forward to having you as an adjudicator on a next round for grants. So that would be a way to help. And we always are doing sort of call outs when, if you see anything that you'd like to assist with, please do reach out to us. But yes, please do continue to adjudicate because that is such a critical part of what we do. Do you want to take the endowment fund question, Craig?
Yeah, and I mean, it's a very interesting question. I think it comes down to the philosophy of Black Opportunity Fund, which again, as Dennis mentioned, as an example, we received a 5 million commitment from National Bank 2.5 years ago for a venture capital fund. But what we did is we took the time to do the diligence. Our focus was on developing our charitable status, and then we roll things out in a diligent way, in an accountable, transparent, and so on. That is our approach to everything that we do. And with regard to our endowment fund application, and our question was all the question is about is the process. And if you notice that is what we've talked about. We look for accountability in how we adjudicate our processes, and we expect the same when we participate. So if you look at, for example, the Social Finance Fund that was just announced by the same, that's a 2-year process with a significant amount of due diligence. The process for the endowment fund, where we called it out, it was essentially 8 weeks over Christmas. And we were not approached, we were not interviewed. So we have no issue with any organization, especially not any community organization. That's not what the focus is. The focus is just process and diligence. And we're absolutely supportive of all community organizations being involved. Just so you know, I've had recent communications and meetings with FFBC. It's something that we would look to do to see ways that we can collaborate, as you've seen with many community organizations on this table. Collaboration is our practice and our process. That is what we do. What we do look for is just transparency and accountability, and it's something that we were calling for in this RFP process about a year and a half before the RFP process, to say that we must be accountable. Now, the process for developing the framework of the endowment fund, as the government has said, was actually based on a proposal and a framework that was actually developed by Black Opportunity Fund and submitted to government even before I came on board. So yeah, so all we're look for is anything we do, any partnerships we have, whether it be private sector, philanthropy, government, is that we have an expectation in the way we will be engaged, because we are stewards of the community. So the expectation is, if we are representing the community, that we hold ourselves to a standard of excellence, and we just expect that those we engage with would do the same. So we're now moving on. We've had numbers of engagements with government on a number of files. We're involved in the Black Canadian Justice Strategy, a number of engagements with government on health through ATO and BUCOLA and the Health Working Group, and a number of initiatives as well. And we continue to look for ways to support Black communities across Canada in partnership with government, in partnership with corporations and philanthropy, but we just expect a standard of transparency and accountability. That's it.
Thank you so much. We do have an anonymous question of asking whether they can speak to you directly, Craig. I think that, just contact us, info@blackopportunityfund.org.
Craig at blackopportunityfund.org. Shoot me an email anytime.
We've got an open floor.
Anybody on the call wants to, I'm available for a conversation.
Yeah. And I put my email address as well in the chat. Now, somebody asked about questions that were asked on registration. I really wish I could answer their specific question.
If I might,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of the questions that did come in were specific questions with regard to, say, a specific funding opportunity or type of funding opportunity, or whether you qualify for that. And I think that's something that I would suggest we can have a more fulsome conversation and provide you more details if you just contact us directly offline. Again, you have our email addresses, and we would be happy to have a fulsome conversation and provide an input and some questions with regard to our recent or current adjudication process. Again, we are very transparent. If you have questions with regard to how your application was adjudicated, feel free to ask. We share information with regard to the adjudication processes as well, and are happy to provide advice and guidance from the notes, so you can hopefully be more hopefully will lead to more success, not just with our application process, but with others. Happy to support.
Thank you. I want to apologize to the person who said that they applied to our arts and culture grant, but did not get notification that the application was received. That is extremely unusual.
Yeah.
But we're happy to track that through. If the application was submitted, we can sort of go through and track to see what happened. And so if you could email me, Donna@blackopportunityfund.org, we can certainly tell you what happened with that application. I can tell you that so I'm getting a notification that in fact there was a response to AFOMAD Festival, and again, it would be extremely unusual that we did not respond. But if there are any other questions, please reach out, and I'm happy to sort of look into it further for you.
Yeah, if I might, Donna.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and as you said, Donna, it would be on you. A lot of times when people say they didn't receive a response, what it is first check your spam and also check what email address you applied with, because many organizations have multiple ones. One of the things we pride ourselves on is the number of touch points. So when you apply, you get a confirmation that you did apply. If you are successful or unsuccessful, you receive an email with communication on that. And we do respond to follow-up emails with requests for information with regard to the specific grants. And, you know, I've watched Muzunsa respond to several of them in the last few days, and I've responded to several of them directly in the last few days. So I would check on that, but absolutely reach out to us and we will respond and provide you any information that we have.
So I'm mindful of the time. We're now 16 minutes over time. So I'm going to close this by saying, look, one of the things that we began when we're sort of in our DNA is that we have to have the trust of the community in order to achieve what we want to achieve. Part of that is transparency. Part of that is being available and open to questions and responding to you. So if you do have a question, please reach out. We're happy to respond, to address your concerns. Can't promise you that the answer is yes, we've got funding, but we're happy to respond, because we know that without the support and trust of the community, we can't achieve the things that we want to achieve. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for the time you invested in this. We look forward to investing back in you and to Black communities across Canada. Back to you, Craig.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, as Donna says, we take pride in the fact that we're stewards of the community trust, that we're here to serve the community, and the reason we do things like these town halls, which is unusual for community organizations, where we're sitting here and we're answering the questions. And we will continue to do that. We will continue to be accountable and transparent to the community. Our grant programs, or all that we do, is based on significant engagement with community in terms of directing how our programs, eligibility criteria, and so on. And we will continue to do that. So anytime you want to reach out to us, feel free to do so. I would guarantee we will respond. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody continues to grow beautifully where you are planted. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.